You got to know your role. And knowing your role is knowing the strength that you have and like how you bring that to whatever team you're on. So that's knowing your 1 and your 1A. So for like homework, you got to understand what's your 1 and what's your 1A and be real honest with yourself. The second thing is KYP. You got to know your personnel. Know who to get, know who to get the ball to, when to get them the ball, and where to get them the ball. And then the third thing is just what's your personal value level, right? Like what value do you bring to each situation that you're in? Now, because you can talk the basketball language and you understand things, again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you do that, now it makes basketball so much easier. Because where everybody else trying to get in where they fit in, y'all are creating your own lane.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey. I want to welcome you to another episode of Lunch and Learn. Camera for a minute. All right, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Lunch and Learn. So today, as we know it, the basketball season is ending for a lot of people. It's ending for a lot of people. Again, first and foremost, if this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Thank you. You can spend your lunchtime doing with anybody else doing other things but you here. So since you're here, drop in the chat. Let me know what city and state you're checking in from. Let me know what city and state you're checking in from. If you're a parent or a coach or a troll. All right. So today I want to talk about, now the season is ending. Season is ending for a lot of people. And we have a lot of seniors that are going to be stuck. As well as a lot of, juniors and sophomores that are looking to move ahead and continue their basketball craft, right? So I just want to talk about two things. You see the title, and hopefully this will help parents today be able to help your student athlete. All right. So let's talk about real briefly mindset and footwork. Today, by the time this is over, all right, Danny, I see you. We got Minnesota in the building. Great to have you here, man. Great to have you here. Listen, understand what is necessary on any level. What's necessary on any level, and that's what we're talking about today. So regardless if your student is a senior, right? If your athlete is a junior, sophomore, freshman, 8th or 7th grader, it really doesn't matter. Or prep school, college, this applies to all athletes today. Mindset and footwork goes on forever and ever. So what am I talking about? Most athletes, a lot of people play basketball, right? So we have a lot of basketball players, but we don't necessarily, or we have a lot of people that play basketball. We don't necessarily have a lot of basketball players. The one thing that frustrates parents is they know or believe that their athlete can do one thing. Frustrates a lot of coaches. They know or believe that their athletes on their team can do something and they believe in it. However, if the athlete does not believe in it, or if the athlete has a little bit of doubt, their whole game may implode. Their whole production may implode on or off the court. So what I do when I come on, well, first of all, that I help high school student athletes, high school basketball players get recruited, even if they're not a 5-star athlete, because we improve their mindset to ultimately improve their skill set in their game. So when athletes get in a rut, when athletes get frustrated, when athletes start missing shots, when athletes get calls called against them, when athletes aren't playing on the court, what's the first thing that is affected in athletes? Their mind. Athletes can miss a shot. That don't mean that they don't know how to shoot the ball anymore, right? Athletes can get a call by the referee. That doesn't mean that they don't play offense or defense anymore. Athletes may even come out the game. The coach will eventually put them back in at some point throughout the season. But while all that's going on, how is the athlete thinking about all of these things that's taking place? What's the athlete's mindset with them missing shots? Okay, you missed 2 or 3 shots. Are you going to use that positively or negatively? Do you know why you're missing? Right? So I have a whole program called Shooting Threes, right? And most athletes don't understand that it's 3 real reasons why you miss shots. It's either no power, no follow through, or no balance. Now, I just gave y'all a goal. Y'all gonna have to go back and rewind that because I'm not gonna repeat that again, right? So I have a whole course, I have a whole ebook that breaks this whole thing down. But if an athlete understands those 3 things, they can immediately fix their mindset because they know, okay, I missed that shot because of this. But if they don't understand why they're not getting the results that they're getting, the coach is not playing me. That's not the results that I want. The referee called a foul on me. That's not the results that I want. The referee called a violation on me on offense. That's not the results that I want. I'm not scoring points. Those are not the results that I want. Even to the point I didn't pass the test in class. That's not the results that I want. So now what's going to be their mindset about that thing that happened to be able to help them get back on the right track and move in the right direction? Does that make sense? So no matter what level athletes are on, their number one asset is how they think. So if your athlete is not getting what they believe they should be getting from this game of basketball, first they need to fix their mindset. And I know a lot of parents say, well, my kid needs to improve his jump shot. Kid's not making a jump shot because of the way they think. Oh, well, my kid is not, playing a lot. Well, your kid's probably not playing a lot because of the reaction to them not playing goes back to how they think. But then in that mindset, do they understand the game? Right? When we're talking about basketball, most athletes have issues with their mindset or their frustration or their stress or their confidence. That's all in mindset. Now they have an issue with those things because they may not fully understand the game, how to overcome those challenges, and now how to start thinking differently. So that's point 1. Point 2, footwork. Point 2 is footwork. Again, most officials and most officials in the stands, right? Because everybody can officiate from the stands. They know travel and they know foul. Well, the reason why most people know travel is because people are paying attention to footwork, but they're not really paying attention to footwork. Right? People are paying attention if they took too many steps, but they aren't really paying attention to the steps they should be taking. Now I'm gonna say that one again. People are always looking at people's steps, the footsteps, but they may not necessarily understand like where to step and when to use those steps, when to use that footwork. So with good footwork, it can get you out of a trap. It can get you into the teeth of the defense. Good footwork can get you to get an athlete to be able to get their shot off quicker. Good footwork will allow an athlete to be open more. Good footwork will allow an athlete to gain an advantage on defense, right? Good footwork allows for athletes to gain an advantage. So if you're watching this today, when I say mindset and footwork are golden, it's literally liquid gold, because both of those 2 things give student athletes an advantage. How are they thinking and how are they moving? It doesn't matter if they, right, athletic can go up and dunk and like fill up a stat sheet. But when I'm gonna date this actual live, it's March. We know March Madness starts today. So therefore, when a team understands what plays you're running, when a team when the opposing team understands what plays your athlete is running, when the other team understand where your athlete shoots the ball from, when the other team understands what triggers your athlete, heck, even when the crowd understands where you work as a parent, right? When the crowd understands how much money you make or what you do, and now they're going to use that towards your athlete, because this happens, especially on the college level, right? Now they're going to use whatever information they can that's public knowledge, the fans, to be able to crack the mindset. People shooting free throws, they're doing all this, right? What are they doing? They're trying to disrupt the mindset. So ultimately, in these short 10, 15 minutes, I want you to walk away with knowing that if your athlete is not in the position in which you or them believe that they can be at this particular time, I'm telling you one of two things that's going on with them, and I don't even have to see your athlete. They either have a mindset that's not productive, or they aren't good with their footwork. Footwork causes you to travel. Footwork causes you to turn the ball over. Footwork causes you to pick up fouls. Footwork causes you to be slow. Footwork causes you to be late. All those things. So if you really want to improve your student athlete, you really want to improve your basketball players, help them improve their mindset and their footwork. And oftentimes the footwork comes back to the mindset. So now I'm not saying don't go get you, personal trainers, none of that. But as much time as you put into your athlete physically on the court, I want you to start making time, scheduling time, so that your athlete can get the mind work that they need on the court. Majority of athletes that have issues on the court at any point in time, pro or whatever, is how they thinking. So if you really want to improve your athlete, right, pull back a little bit from the on the court and start getting them the mindset development and the mindset assistance and the mindset coaching that they need, right? Mindset and footwork. Mindset and footwork. And if your athlete has the right mindset, they can eventually improve their skill set. If your athlete has the proper footwork, their skill set will go to another level. So I'm not sure, right? I mean, anybody can drop a 1 in the chat. Does any of these sound like your athlete? Does any of this sound like any of your athletes that's on watching, right? Do they need to improve their mindset or their footwork from your standpoint? Like the way that you see it, does your athletes need to improve their mindset? And do they need to improve their footwork? Because what happens is most coaches, most parents, the only thing that they think about is they want their kid to be able to score more. They want their kid to be able to shoot better, right? They want their kid to get more exposure, right? Well, that exposure, as a college coach, I'm coming to watch your kid if I think that they can give me what I need. Most coaches don't need non-confident players, but every player at some point in time may have an issue with their confidence. And now the greats, they have coaches to help them with that. Everybody else, they just kind of go through that slump and they come out of it as they come out of it, right? So I just wanted to drop this on y'all, even as you watch the NCAA tournament. Pay attention to the footwork. Pay attention to the mindset. And if, right, okay, Danny, yep, definitely send me an inbox. Definitely send me an inbox. But yeah, definitely pay attention during this NCAA tournament. And watch the teams that win are going to be more confident. They're going to have a different mindset, just as a team, individuals and as a team, than the team that is not winning. And then watch the athletes that are playing, and more importantly, watch the athletes that aren't playing. Right? Watch the athletes that are playing, but watch the athletes that are not playing. Because the biggest killer to confidence in athletes is the bench. The biggest killers for athletes is the bench. And the reason why that's the biggest killer is oftentimes they don't fully understand why they're being taken out the game. So when a coach sit an athlete on the bench, it's for a reason. Most athletes don't understand why they're coming out the game. They just don't understand why they're coming out the game. And so then that affects their mindset, then ultimately affects their game. All right? Does that make sense? So we had dropped some of these comments. Gets Richard, how you feeling, man? What's up, Rich? Let's see. Fundamental movement skills. Training my mind, another level of training, move, coach development. Yep. Yeah. Hey, you got to find something, Mike. You know, you got to find something to be able to help. Right now, again, me. So my second book, Creating a Perfect Storm. Creating a Perfect Storm is a book for athletes that dive all into the art of thinking, the science of thinking behind it. If it's imagery, visualizations, right? Like how are you, when any athlete gets to the free throw line, the difference in somebody shooting 98% and somebody shooting 38% was their mindset. Hack-a-Shaq, if you're old enough, maybe I'm dating myself to some of the parents here, right? Or we got some coaches in the building also. Hack-a-Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal was probably the most dominant center that we've seen besides Wilt Chamberlain, if you know your history. Shaquille O'Neal could score with the best of them, but he couldn't make a free throw. How come Shaquille O'Neal didn't make a free throw? Do you understand the mental issue that Shaquille O'Neal had at the free throw line? Does anybody understand why Shaq he missed free throws because of how he thought? But does anybody understand what Shaq thought about every time he went to the free throw line? Yep, makes sense. D, absolutely. Yep, fundamental movement. So we talking about that footwork, right? We talking about that footwork, pivots, jump stops, right? Reverse pivots, forward pivots. You'll be amazed. A lot of people don't understand that there's a forward pivot and then there's a reverse pivot. Reverse pivot is probably the best kept secret in the game of basketball. Yeah, Shaq would have better shooting free throws with a jump hook. No, and probably, but Shaq didn't shoot a jump hook, right? Shaq never shot a jump hook. Like Shaq never shot a sky hook. All right, forgive me. Never shot a sky hook. He had some jump hooks, right? And that's a whole nother class, because when you're behind the free throw line, you can shoot a jump shot. Hell, you can shoot a jump hook. As long as you don't cross that free throw line, a lot of people don't understand that. But here's the thing. Shaq had a mindset issue when he went to the free throw line because he had big hands, right? Understanding not only the game, but understanding how the game is played, right? This paper towel, literally the basketball, was like this. So his hands were so big, he had a hard time fitting the ball in his shot pocket, in his hand, because the ball just sat in his hand. So therefore, he couldn't shoot it, right? Like Mike is saying, from a jump hook. Even with a jump hook, he right there, so he could kind of claw that thing in. But with a free throw, you can't do that. So Shaq's biggest issue mentally, I want to be in the game because I want to help Kobe or Dwayne Wade or whoever it may be at that point, right? Even Paul Pierce, when he played with the Celtics, a lot of people don't remember Shaq played with the Celtics, right? And LeBron James, when he played with the Cavaliers. But so Shaq wanted to help everybody, so he wanted to be on that court during the time. But Phil Jackson understood, no, I ain't going to have you on the court because you're not making free throws because of the way you're thinking. Because Shaq walked up to the free throw line thinking, man, this ball going to be bigger than my hands or smaller than my hands. So no matter how dominant an athlete is, majority of them have confidence issues about something. And that's what we do, is we find out where that gap is, where that blind spot is. What's that thing that they really not thinking about that's affecting their whole game? What's that thing that they're thinking about that's affecting their whole game? Athletes shouldn't really think on the court. All right. If nobody ever told you this, athletes really shouldn't think on the basketball court. Athletes should literally react on the basketball court. And they should respond on the basketball court. It should be instinctual on the basketball court. Not, okay, well, if they do this, I'm going to do this. One of the biggest mistakes, going back to footwork now, right? Footwork, because I can move and I can maneuver based on what the defense is doing. One of the biggest issues athletes have is because they already know, okay, I'm about to cross this dude over. Or you know what, I'm about to go around my back on this young lady. Well, if the defense doesn't allow that, that's not going to happen. But now, finally, in closing, for those parents that want their athletes to score more, it definitely comes down to the mindset. If you feel that the only way your athlete can get a college scholarship is by them scoring the basketball and them getting exposure of the like getting exposure from college coaches, and the only way that they're going to get exposure is by filling a stat sheet up and scoring the ball, they will probably not maximize their scoring potential if they don't have the right mindset. And they definitely they definitely won't maximize their scoring potential if they don't have the right mindset. They probably won't reach their full potential scoring if they don't have proper footwork. Proper footwork. Again, it's going to get them an easier shot. It's going to get them open more, right? It's going to buy them some time. It's going to do a whole lot of things. It's going to help them get their rhythm. It's going to do a whole lot of things. But not a lot of coaches, right? And just public disclaimer, and I say it all the time, I don't have an issue with just like AAU in general, but I do have an issue with majority of AAU teams because I think that they teach it totally bad. And I think AAU is different from high school because like it's a little bit more structured, right? It's almost like going from, just a regular store to not going inside of a mall. Well, a mall is a little more structured than just going into one store, back to your car, into another store. So it's a little bit more. And so I have nothing against AAU, but I do have something against what the perception of AAU stands for, because they're only teaching offense. They're only teaching exposure. They're not teaching fundamentals. They're not teaching footwork, which is fundamentals. And they definitely not teaching mindset. So you get a lot of parents that are disgruntled with AAU because they felt that though their kid never improved. Their kid never improved because the kid was never taught. And I know at this time I'm gonna get all the AAU coaches that's gonna leave, and that's fine, right? That's probably the reason, because they don't want to learn, right? But you have to teach the game in its entirety. Because the AAU season is so short, right? It's all about results. Basketball is a results business. So it's all about wins and losses. And because that window is so short, they're trying to do everything, right? So it's all about winning. And so the winning comes from all about scoring, right? But what about the other end? What about the other things? And now that a coach, you get the exposure, you can score. But now when you get to that next level, everybody can play. And I don't just want to win on my level or want my athletes to win on our current level. I want them to win on every level. Rich, there you go. Basketball to street ball. Absolutely. Basketball to street ball. Oh, and for those parents that's watching that are about to send their kids to all of these showcases that are about to pop up, senior showcases, all these events, I'm releasing, right? And I've been holding on to this. I actually put it out 2 years ago when I first did it. But I actually got an ebook that I'm about to release that is Senior Showcase Secrets. Again, as a coach, I stopped going to those showcase events because it was like park ball on steroids, right? It was park ball and everybody just had different colors on. Like it was color coordinated rec ball, park ball. If you're an athlete as a coach, I don't really know if you can run in a system when I see you at a showcase event. I don't really know what you can do at a showcase event. And most athletes don't really show what they can do because at most showcase events, everybody is out to do what? Get exposure. And how do they feel they can get exposure? By scoring. So everybody is just, it's a every man for himself scoring the ball one-on-one, right? Let me do this. Showcase events, exposure events. So I have a complete PDF that I am putting together, right? So you can, those is watching here, right? So what you could do is you can send me an email, right? You can send me an inbox. Let me know that you're interested in the pre-order, right? Let me know that you're interested in the pre-order. Probably be like $29.97, right, for it. So let me know that you're interested in the pre-order. And the pre-order, what I'm probably doing, the pre-order is going to come with a group workshop prior to, let's say, all these showcases starting. So you can get in on a pre-order and then be able to get that live workshop, right? Or you could just get it afterwards. But I'm telling you, you have to be mindful and you have to be aware of what's going on, because ultimately your athlete probably doesn't have a skill set problem. They can improve that. But the ultimate issue that majority athletes out here are having is how they think and how they move. Mindset and footwork. And that's what we do. So again, listen, if you ain't had a chance to check out my free training, right, of how I help high school basketball players get recruited, even if they're not 5-star athletes, go check out my free case study video there at BeTheRightRecruit.com. You can go check that out. You can send me an inbox as well if you want to get in on a pre-order of the Senior Showcase Secrets. And read some of these comments. Shaq said he made them when they counted Mike. Absolutely. Try shoot with a tennis ball to illustrate. Yeah, I'm at work, man. I ain't got it. That's why I use the paper towel. I ain't got a biggest ball, one. Are you gonna have this posted on my site? Have what posted, Ernest? I'm not, because I'm just going through it, so I'm not sure at what point, like where that question came in from. So just drop it in. What do you have what posted on my site? Just let me know. Preacher coach, truth be told, y'all, yep, I've always coached from this love, from this perspective. Absolutely, Mike. Mike, do you coach? What do you coach, Mike? Grammar school, high school, AAU, college, what? Ernest, I'm not sure if you on still. I'm not sure, but this live, it's on my YouTube page at Coach Carvel Bailey. If y'all haven't subscribed yet, definitely go subscribe to that. It'll be on my Facebook. Probably won't be on my website, right? CarvelBailey.com. Probably won't be there, but it will be on my Facebook page as well as my YouTube page. RJ, yep. Thanks for the information. RJ, I want you to answer me this question real quick because I got to go. You've been plugging in with me now for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. This is March, right? Like since the beginning of the year. What's the biggest takeaway you've gotten from plugging in with me, RJ? You haven't had your, mom yet or your dad yet reach out to me, but you do plug in. So you are getting this information as a high school athlete, right? You want to have a few high school athletes that not only check in, stay plugged in, but you comment and you ask questions. So what's the biggest thing? Have you learned anything? Have you put any of what I've been teaching over the past 2 months? Have you put any of this into action? And how has it helped? right? Because what I don't want you or anybody to do is just watch, consume information, and then never go out and put it into practice, right? So parents, put it into practice. Take the information and learn from it. Coaches, take the information and learn from it, right? Athletes, take the information and learn from it. And then if you like our help with it, reach out to us and we'll help you, right? We'll get on the phone. We'll see if you're a good fit. And then we may invite you into our Hoops Mastery University program. Definitely. But go check out our free case study video. And that's about it, right? Anybody got any other questions, comments, or concerns? Other than that, I just wanted to come drop that on y'all. And listen, fair, like all fair, no robbery, right? Like, let's be fair. If nothing else, comment, acknowledge the class, right? Like it, love it, share it, right? Like if you're here and if you're getting this information, and that's why I said, are you a parent, are you a coach, or are you a troll? We teach the trolls too, but it's 2021. Let's get out of peeking in rooms and not wanting people to know we're there. Especially if you're a coach and you're preaching to your athletes about exposure, or if you're a parent and you're being told my athlete needs exposure. Well, how do you expect to preach exposure, or how do you expect to help your athlete get exposure and you're not letting yourself be known? If nothing else, I've never seen RJ play, but RJ now has the exposure of a dude that's been coaching for 28 years, all on his own. And as I told somebody the other day, and I don't brag about it, right? But literally, I got about 200 phone numbers in my phone, if not more, of college coaches. But while everybody wants to get exposure, nobody wants to communicate, nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to let themselves be even known. That could be why your athlete or your team is in that situation. Because how you gonna get help if nobody even know you're in the building? So you pay $1,000, whatever, for an AAU team, or for your kid to play AAU, or if you're gonna get exposure, but then you come to the game, college coaches lined up all around the front, and now your kid is on the bench and they never get in the game. How would that make you feel? You've been sold on exposure, and now your kid never got in the game in front of all these college coaches. But that's what you're doing as a parent or a coach. And like, you come on platforms like this and kind of hide and like not even wave or make a comment, even share it, right? So we as adults have to start practicing what we're preaching. That's part of the issue I have with AAU, because they've kind of brainwashed the majority, parents, athletes, and coaches, to believe that it's just going to happen like that. Yeah. I need to get my parents involved. I have a better mindset, and I am taking a dribbling class. Yep. There you go. So you need to get your parents involved. Yep. That is absolutely good. And you say you got a better mindset, keep on giving me testimonies, right? But I tell you, RJ, and I'm going to keep feeding you, right? As long as you coming, I'm going to feed you. But you can eat Checkers or you can eat Ruth Chris. You may not know who Ruth, right? Let's just say you can eat Checkers or you can eat Burger King, right? Or McDonald's, served over 1 billion. So you can go get the little things, the dribbling classes and all of, because that's working. You can go get them little things. That's what these classes are. That's the little things. And that's why I say RJ has been tapping in for 2 months. So he's gotten a lot of appetizers, and now he's piecemealing a meal so that he won't be hungry. We know RJ is not hungry because we just see what he said. His mindset has improved. He knows he needs to get his parents involved, right? And now he's doing something on his own with like a dribbling class. But What I'm saying is you can have the Checkers or the White Castle, or you can go get a full meal. Stop just getting pieces and go get the full meal. All right, but that's about it, y'all. I got a class waiting on me. I am out. Lunch and Learn. Again, if you want to get access to that Senior Showcase Secrets, right, we're going to release it $29.97. If you want to get in on the early bird registration, that's going to come along with a live workshop. All right, so Coach Carvel Bailey, I'll talk to y'all a little bit later on. And in closing, as always, we say peace.
Persistence, consistency, and finishing what you started. Time. How much time are you putting into your craft? I believe you don't lose, you learn. So you just ran out of time. Does that make sense? Like that contest, y'all just ran out of time. But how much time do you think you have before it's over? Right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. Don't matter if you're a damn All-American. Like, you got a job to do, so trust. Y'all not mentally tough because y'all don't trust not only each other, but you don't trust yourself. And you don't trust yourself because how much time you putting in. The ones that put the time in, they trust one another. They believe in themselves. So if y'all believe that y'all can do it, y'all should be going harder. Y'all should be holding one another accountable. Whatever you can do to help this team, that's what y'all need to happen. Everybody can't score. Everybody ain't fast. What everybody can do, what everybody that ever plays basketball should be able to do if they play basketball, they should be able to play defense and play hard. Them the only two things you can control.
Just show hands. Who want to play basketball? Honestly, who want to play basketball? All right, who has to play basketball? We just cracked the code. And dudes that y'all play, they got to get their mom out the hood. The dudes that y'all playing, they living in a trap. The dudes that y'all playing ain't getting no sleep. So I got to get any advantage that I can. So what choices are y'all making? That's the point I'm getting to. Are you making the choice to play defense? Are you making the choice to pass the ball? Hell, are you making the choice to come to practice? And I commend y'all because y'all here in the evening. But guess what? Circle gets smaller. Try out, that circle was big, wasn't it? Circle gets smaller, dog. Everybody don't make it.